Okay, so a couple of things. You guys might have seen my email go out this morning, and hopefully you did. If you're not, gosh, guys, let me know so that I can put you on my own personal forwarding list. I have 3 people that every week when an email goes out, I forward them the email from my own personal email because for whatever reason they can't get it. But today's subject was all about how we're going to solve that problem, because this has been bugging the junk out of me. Not only are some people missing emails and then not getting all of the goods from us, but I just feel like, we've said we're going to use the Facebook group, but we don't really use it, and I'm the leader. I'm the most at fault here, but we don't really use it. And so I started doing a bunch of research over the last few days and trying to figure out how to handle this. And I have come upon the decision to go ahead and create our own website, our members only website. And so it won't be as pretty as the website that I have for Mama Crush or anything, because I'm using a membership platform so to make it easy, because I don't want to take a month to set this all up. I want to be able to drag and drop things and get it ready, get it to go, ready to go. But it'll be a hub for you as a member that you can log into, get all of the, all of the PDFs, the goods, the notes from every meeting. It'll be there, all the links to, the recorded meetings if you wanted to watch those, or if you missed one, and just any announcements will be there. I will still try to get an email out every week, so to keep everyone up to date, or at least to remind you to hey, go to the website. But like I said, not everyone is getting the emails every week. And so it just becomes an extra step in the process that I probably shouldn't have to be doing. So I just think it'll be a great place, and it runs just like its own group, right? So you can talk to each other on there. You can post on there. I'll be able to post announcements. You can comment. You can search through and see, whatever we've talked about in the past. For this LinkedIn challenge, I realized yesterday as I was sitting down to put together, the stuff for this week, I was like, I never really talked about it in the Facebook group. Sent out the email, but we never really talked about it. I didn't keep the flow going, right? I didn't keep it ramped up. And so having a one-stop shop for that sort of thing will be fantastic. I'm really excited about it. And so in the next couple of weeks, that should be launched. Also, the membership directory will be in there. And that is going to be a way for you guys to go in and edit your profile. I'll have what's the word? Different things that we want to know about you. I think it was Diana who had said, wouldn't it be great if we put on there things we know about, things we want to learn about, that sort of thing. It's great for collaboration or for reaching out to each other. So I'll have some fields. That's what I meant to put, some empty fields in there that you can fill in if you'd like to. And you can give away as much information or as little information as you want. I will just list the member names and probably their social media handles, because that's public information anyway. So I'll just have your names and the social media handles, and then you can choose how much more info you want to put in there. If you want your phone number or your personal email, that sort of thing. So I won't be spreading everyone's info out. Okay, so that's the exciting stuff. That's the exciting news. It is our first week, the end of our first week of the LinkedIn challenge. Did anybody get in there and work on their profile at all? Show of hands, nobody? I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I did get some requests, some connection requests. So I was like, oh, good, you guys are getting in there. So that was awesome. I personally have not had a second to go in and update my profile, and I know I need to. So I am going to double up my challenge this week for week 1 and week 2 and get that done. So we'll start week 2, and I forgot what week 2 was. Week 2 is to share one article from your feed, both on your biz page and on your personal page, and then to make 2 connections outside of your friends. I think that's what it was. To make 2 connections outside of your normal friends that you already are connected with, and then share one article from the feed that has to do with anything that your audience would be interested in. So if you guys want to go ahead and continue on with the challenge, that would be fantastic. Today, we have some really cool stuff to talk about. Another platform that I really would have learned more about, and all the changes that have happened in the year 2020 now with it. So I'm going to get into that. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity, because a lot of these calls are just me talking to you and without being in person, it's hard for y'all to get a word in edgewise. So if you guys want to say hey and just remind everybody what you do, that would be awesome. And we'll start. I'm just going to look on my grid here. So I'll start with Diana. If you want to go ahead and give us your spiel.
Hi, I'm Diana. I have a food blog that I've had for 9 years, and I do recipe development, food photography, and I've been doing all kinds of freelance work during this time too. So I'm just adding to the resume as I go. I'm now officially also doing like social media management for a small business. Actually, you know who it is? It's well, I don't know if I should say who it is, but the opportunity came through on the business casual Facebook page, because somebody said that they had a friend that was looking for help, and I was able to connect with her, and it looks like it's going to work out. So doing that stuff too, but just, you know, it's stuff that I already do
BCM
for
can
myself.
get you jobs.
I know. So it's stuff that I'm already doing for myself. So, you know, and it's like low maintenance. So that's come of this too. So
congrats.
Yep, thanks. Adding to all the things that I do.
That's fantastic.
Thanks
I'm
for
excited
helping.
to hear about that. No worries. All right. Noelle.
Sorry, I was trying to multitask. And just FYI, I'm going to just have to jump out at 12:30.
No worries, girl.
Talk to our favorite people, Jody. Anyways, I'm Noelle. I own the Virtual Advantage, and I primarily do social media marketing with a focus on Instagram and Pinterest. And I also do a lot of just random virtual back-end support. So newsletters, blogs, website edits, those types of things. And I work with primarily female business owners, and have worked on during this time developing a lot of new offerings, which is kind of exciting. So I will let you all know once all of those are up and running.
Awesome. That's amazing. I'm really excited for you because I know you already have a successful business that you're running. And I think from what I'm gathering of like last couple weeks that Jody is working with you now too. Is that right?
So Jody and I actually work together on I still work very, very part-time for the same job that I've had for like 6 years in addition to running my business. And that's actually how I know Jody.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
I said I had to jump off to talk to.
Okay, great. But anyway, I think it's awesome that you're going to start doing some more offers. And I know we love learning from you every week. So I'm excited to see what you're putting out. That's amazing.
I'll let you all know, but thank you.
Cool. All right, Dana, you're next on my grid there.
Hello, I'm Dana. I work in marketing for a general contractor, but I also blog over at Modern Exennial. I also consult for social media and content creation for small companies. A little bit of everything.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, Jen Foster.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, aka Rich Chick Jen on Instagram, and so I'm actually going to be making a post about this today, so if you go check it out. And I am a wealth coach for women, but I will also work with men, and my goal is to help eliminate confusion, help you gain insight, and grow your wealth while discovering your true purpose and sharing that with the world.
Awesome. Very good. Okay, Margaret, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be back. I had a time caught up with me and I got carried away. And I realized I missed one meeting and it ended up being 3. But I'm an interior designer here in Jupiter. I practice part-time with a design firm called Decor Interiors. And then my husband and I also have our company, Logan Living, where we focus on real estate photography and staging. We kind of look at all aspects of the real estate home buying process. So my husband's the broker agent. He's also the photographer, and then I do the staging and designs. And so through this pandemic, we've really decided to kind of centralize our efforts into the photography and marketing staging side of the house sale. You know, still pursuing clients that are looking to buy or sell, but focusing on that marketing side of it. And then we've also been volunteering a bit at the Big Dog Ranch, volunteering our photography services. It's been just a nice way to get ourselves out there, meet the community. We love animals. I love dogs, so it feels good. And then it's helpful because we're able to share, you know, that we're volunteering our services with them. And they're this great big company. So they're a wonderful group of people that it's been really fun to network with. And so I'm excited to be here and network with you all too.
Very cool. Love to hear about that. That's awesome, Margaret. Good for you guys. Hey, Michelle. Haven't seen you for a while, or have we? Were you here last week? I can't remember.
Hi, ladies. Yeah, I was here last week,
okay,
but prior to that, it had been a long time.
That's right.
Life got a hold of me.
We hear you.
So hi, ladies. My name is Michelle. I'm the owner of Meraki Wood Events. It's a luxury wedding and event planning and design company that I launched this past year. Little crazy of a time to have launched a company and then have a pandemic happen. But previously to launching my company, I had taken a couple years off just to be a full-time mom, but I have been working in events, planning mostly weddings, a lot in New York and in the Hamptons before moving to Florida for about 15 years. So I'm excited to make wedding magic happen down here when we can all get back into it.
Yeah, awesome to hear about it, because I mean, that's one of the biggest things, like one of the major drawbacks of this whole thing, right, is people not getting to celebrate the way they wanted to. So I'm excited to see you. It's almost like a relaunch for not only you, but for your whole industry. So that's pretty exciting.
We've all hit pause, so we're all ready to hit.
Everyone's on the same playing field, right? Like nobody's getting ahead of anybody else. So good for you. I'm excited. All right, Miss Taylor, you want to say hey?
Hi, everybody. Taylor, for those of you that don't know me, aka the Palm Beach Baker on Instagram. I own a cottage industry bakery, so at home I do it all here. I was kind of out of commission for a while. I did a little kitchen renovation, but I'm back and I have 3 orders this week, so I'm super excited. And yeah, just happy to be here.
By the way, I saw your kitchen renovation and it looks amazing. It looks so awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Thank you.
You guys did a great job.
I'm excited. Thanks.
All right, Gwen, you want to say hey?
Everybody. Oh, there I am. Hi.
Hey.
So my name is Gwen, also known as Next in Mind on Instagram and Facebook. And I am a mom of 2 on a mission to teach every kid in the world how to meditate and be mindful to get through childhood and have awesome mindset skills for life. So I do this online. I do it virtually. I have an online course I teach with my 10-year-old son. And I've been doing live meditation breaks this past several weeks for kids from homeschooling. And our last one is tomorrow, since school is over on Friday. So that's it.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to pivot and make it like the meditation break for moms that are going insane with their kids with nothing to do, right?
Oh yeah, that's summer 2020. So
that's right. Well, good. We're so glad you're here. And Chrissy, hey, Chrissy.
Hey, sign me up, Gwendolyn, for that mom's break during the summer. I'm going to need it. So I'm Chrissy, and I love teaching people, specifically moms, just safer options for, eating healthy, products that you use on your body, cleaning solutions. I have a beauty counter business, and beauty counter, for those of you who don't know, it's a company that has like clean beauty products. So whether it's skincare or makeup. So I do that on the side, and I'm just trying to build my brand right now. And yeah, that's about it.
I see you changed your name, your brand name on like your social. Did you?
Yeah, I changed it. I haven't done a whole lot at all with my feed. I've been just, I'm just trying to like keep up with stories, and hopefully once school, this week is over, I'll have some time to dedicate. It's just been too difficult.
We can't do all the things, ladies. I get it.
No, we definitely can't. So
what is the new name that you gave your
it's
handle?
A Consciously Better You.
That's right. A Consciously Better You. I was like, that fits right in. That's right.
Yeah, I love it. I'm just trying to figure out now how to do my feed.
Yes. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Next we have Shannon, who makes the prettiest presents. I picked up some yesterday.
Hi guys, I'm Shannon. I own Initial Styles Personalized Gift Boutique. We have a brick and mortar store here in Jupiter that is currently still closed, but we are doing curbside pickup and drop off and online ordering and shipping. So I'm staying busy with that. And if you ever see me like my blank screen, it's because somebody's like at the front door. So I had to run, and I told Leanne I feel terrible about it, but it's better to be here a little bit.
We're happy to have you here. Yeah. All right. And she really does have the coolest stuff. So I don't know, I should have mentioned earlier that one of our members, Holly Lucas, many of you know her, had her third little boy this weekend on Saturday morning early. And it's just, they have Brooks and Rhodes, and the new one is Desi. He's Edison something, I can't remember, but it's Desi. And so they brought him home yesterday, and I got Shannon to make a couple of things, or make something, and then bought a few more things to give her. But yeah, if you guys think about it, reach out to Holly on Instagram or Facebook. She posted some photos the last couple of days, and the baby's super cute. And just say congrats from your BCM girls. All right, Jody, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Gwen, I meant to text you. I sat on Instagram Live waiting for meditation today because I thought it was Thursday, by the way.
Oh,
I was so upset.
That's good. You should just meditate anyway.
That's what I was doing. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here in peace.
There you go. It worked.
That's my email work. But I am Jody, and I'm with also AKA Fit Palm Beach. And I blog about fitness studios, which I am not currently doing right now. So I am trying to fill my feed with whatever possibly I can fill it with.
But I think you've been doing a pretty fantastic job. I mean, I've loved your posts. You've been doing great.
Thank you. But I do have my first fitness studio that has reached out to me that wants to get me in on Friday.
Oh, very cool.
One-on-one. I'm kind of nervous about going back into a fitness studio, but it's a one-on-one, so we'll see.
I would think that there's actually a really big need for this, like people being nervous to go back. So like you can kind of put our minds at ease on like, or tell us I wouldn't go there, because if they're not doing it right. I don't know if you're ever going to give negative press, but I just mean that it's probably a good thing because we trust you and your thoughts on it, on the different facilities. So it'd be great to know like what each one is doing, so I think that's awesome.
And I wanted to try to jump on the virtual like bandwagon of doing virtual classes all around. But this break I also teach fitness. So this break to me is amazing. And I just didn't want to think about fitness anymore, honestly. And now I'm like starting to like wean back into it. But I could have jumped on like the virtual bandwagon, but it is what it is.
That's
so
right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just
no regrets, girl.
Yeah, no regrets. I'm trying to figure out my life.
That's right. I think we're all trying to refigure out our lives after all of this. So it's all different. Hey there, Lauren, you're next. Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm actually using my daughter's computer or Zoom account today. I'm actually Diane Marie.
Oh, sorry, Diane. That's okay. Lauren sitting on the bottom. Sorry.
Confusing. Hopefully my dog stopped barking. My dog's in the dog barking business. I'm in the coaching realm, and I assist people interested in relationship dynamics. I coach using a timeless philosophy based on tribal knowledge called tribal physics. I just launched a website, and I have an e-course coming out. Love the tribal physics. So I help, partners, teammates, coworkers, families, what have you, understand their lens that they're viewing the world from, and vice versa, your partner as well, which, really helps, develop a more connected, empowered, flowing, harmonious relationship or team. So
sounds amazing. I'm sure we could all use a little bit of that in our lives. And where can everybody find you, Diane?
It's www.tribalphysics.com.
Tribal Physics. All right.
Thank you. Yeah. So nice to see you guys, and I appreciate this group. You guys are rocking it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We love it. It all is because of all of you guys. So I'm excited that you're all here. And then I see a few darkened ones, so I don't know if they can talk or not, but if Anna, if you want to say hey, if you wanted to hop on here, if they don't hear.
Hi.
Oh, hey girl.
I'm on a bike ride. It's a new way to do meetings. I'm Anna, and I educate on essential oils and build community in the natural health space. And I also started working super part-time recently with a friend's engineering firm, which has been kind of interesting to see how like the shifts in that space too recently. yeah, using problem solving in all the different areas. And right now it's how to get my kids moving so I can listen into this. I'm glad I was able to call in.
I'm glad you could. Did you change your name on social as well? I thought I saw another name that you were using. No, I'm just
nope
imagining that. Okay, I mean she's Anna Bordner, but I just
yeah, just Anna Bordner, and website same thing.
Okay, for some reason I thought I saw something else. Okay, that must have been something else. Thanks for coming, and I'm glad you could.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the only person we haven't talked to is Mika. I don't know if you can talk or not. If she's not, doesn't hop on, then I'll say no. All right, I'm gonna get everybody to smile real quick for a picture, and then we'll move on to our subject. Smile. All right, cool, good. All right, I did today jot down everyone's tags because I know I always post these pictures and then I don't tag everyone and you guys like can't use the photo or share it or anything. So I will do that today when I post a picture of us. But I wanted to talk about, and it's funny because I was gonna rely on 3 people in this group to help out today a lot. And they, on my grid, I don't know how it sets up the grids for you guys, but on my grid, all 3 people are at the top. It's Diana and Noelle and Dana. So because we are going to talk about Pinterest. Pinterest. So I was doing a lot of analyzing. I started working consulting again and doing marketing and sales and for a women's clothing company recently. And so, you know, add that to the plate. But we were talking about the different social media platforms that we're using. And just like we always talk about in our group, you know, I'm thinking we're spending a lot of time and energy on these Instagram posts and Facebook posts. And then they've got a little on YouTube and they've got a little on Pinterest and they've got a little here, a little there. And I was like, whew, no wonder you guys are overwhelmed. Like we need to reel it in and we need to really do a little research and look at where we are actually getting customers from and where we're converting and or clients, right? And where we're converting. And let's put all our energy in those 2, maybe 3 spots. And then the other things are kind of like the extras, the bonus. Like if we could just repurpose content and put it there, great. But it's not going to be our focus because right now, for instance, they're focusing hard on Instagram, yet none of their clients or customers come from Instagram. It's more of just a place for them to create because Instagram is so easy to create on. So I know a lot of us fall into this trap because I'm personally the same on the Mama Crush. For me, it's so easy to create on Instagram, but that's not really where I get my clients from. It's where I have a little bit of a fan base and a little bit of notoriety, but you know, amongst my people that follow me. But as far as getting clients, it tends to be more Facebook and then more personal connections. So we really need to think about putting our efforts where we can actually convert and where we can actually get clients. And I just wanted to go over, as I know we're already kind of at 12:30, we're probably going to talk about this week and next week because I have so much great information about Pinterest. And I also want to, you know, dig the brains of these 3 people because they are big Pinterest users. And if anyone else is, please help as well. But I know I'll be asking them questions along the way. But so many of you know about Pinterest, of course. I mean, we all use it. We all get in there, you search for things. And that's exactly what it is. So that's the difference between using Pinterest and using Instagram and Facebook is that Pinterest is a search engine, not a social media platform. It falls under the social media umbrella, but it's a search engine. The same way YouTube is. I think we've kind of touched on that in the past. Like YouTube, you don't go on typically you don't go on there and follow specific people. You might, but you know, it works a little differently. But for the most part, when you're on YouTube, you are searching for something. You're looking for a solution to a problem. And it's the same on Pinterest. Think about how you use it. I mean, we go on there for recipes. I'm probably moving here soon, so I'm on there looking at, you know, furniture and ways to design, you know, color schemes and things like that. So we go on looking to solve a problem. And so that is the big difference there. But also there is so many great things happening on Pinterest. And then they've made some changes this year to their algorithm that make it really a smart place to be for female entrepreneurs that are in either the creative side of a business or are product-based. I know that we're going to really focus on it in this product-based company that I'm working with. And so let's see. I mean, I could ask you yourselves, like, how many of you are on Pinterest? Like, how many of you have used Pinterest? I mean, the show of hands, probably everyone here, right? You've used Pinterest at some point. And how many of you are using it for your business? Or are you using it more personal? I know my top three are definitely, but and how many of you have like a real strategy around that? I know Diana does for sure. I'm sure Dana does as well. And then of course Noelle does, because that's what she does for her job. But coming up with a real strategy is where the conversion comes from, right? It's where the kind of raving fans come from. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But Pinterest, the main audience, you just tell me if these are the people you want to talk to. They are majority female. They are the ages of 25 to 44, and they have an average household income of over $100,000. They have money to spend, right? They have free time. They're looking for not free time, but they have a either a creative side or a desire to be, so that they're looking for like projects and things to do, or they're just looking for guidance because they don't have that in them. If I don't know a recipe, I'm going to go on and look for it. So these are the people that are the majority on Pinterest. And for many of you, I think almost all of you, that is who you're looking for, right? That is the people you're looking for. Of course, you're probably a little more specific, but that is generally who you're looking for. And when you're on other platforms, Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube, there's a lot more competition out there, and it's a lot harder to nail down your perfect audience, right? Facebook basically has everyone in the world, right? So you're casting a very wide net. Pinterest, I just feel like it's a really great place to target, because for many of us, most of us, it is our ideal client does live there. Like I said, it's a search engine. So using keywords when you are setting up a Pinterest strategy should be really important. And keywords work just the same way it does in Google. Pinterest is going to pay attention to the keywords that are attached to your copy. And I'll go through a list of like where you can use those keywords. But basically anywhere where you are typing is where you can use keywords. And so that's how Pinterest figures out what you're talking about and who they should be showing that to. Another really cool thing about Pinterest, and this is kind of like me selling you on why you should be using it, is that it's super easy to go viral. I don't say super easy. It's easier to go viral on Pinterest than it is on some of the other platforms. Super easy is not the right word, but it is easier. Pins get views not only because Pinterest pushes them out, but because they are repinned, much in the same way like Instagram, not so much Instagram, but Facebook, you're asking for shares and you want people to share what you're talking about. Instagram, we do that as well. But really in Pinterest, it is our nature to share. So there are no other sites where I go on and think, I just want to share stuff, right? I just want to pin stuff, or I want to like repost other people's other people's content. I don't go on Instagram with the intent of reposting other people's content. My intent is to build up my own audience and to talk about me. But I'm not, and I will repost somebody's things here and there, maybe put in my stories, but for the most part, it's about me. Pinterest is driven for sharing. That's what pinning is, right? It's pinning other people's content. We're going to talk about pinning your own content because that's the most important thing as a business, but just think of, you as a user for Pinterest. That's what you do. You set up your own boards and you're pinning other people's content. So it is a little easier to go viral than it is on other platforms. 80% of all the pins on Pinterest, 80% of everything you see, everything that lives on Pinterest all these years are repins. Only 20% of it is original content. So think about that and think about just how often things are shared on Pinterest, 80% of the time, right? Another great thing about Pinterest is that it is, the content has a longer shelf life. It can live on forever. Dana probably can speak to this. There are certain pins that they have that probably can lead, that bring them traffic to older posts, right? Or older blog posts. Whereas that doesn't happen on Instagram and Facebook. If someone was really looking for something, I guess they could, or they're searching and you're, doing a deep dive, but generally the chances of something older getting shared are a lot less than on Pinterest. So you have a real great chance of having something be evergreen, and it lives in your Pinterest boards forever and can always be discovered. The last thing I will say on why you should be using is that Pinterest is the only platform that I know of that encourages people to go off of its own site, right? Off of its own platform. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they are all set up, rightfully so, because they're a business, right, for people to stay on their platform. It's almost as though you're penalized for trying to get people to leave, right? They hurt you in the algorithm. With Pinterest, they want you to click off. They want you to click the posts. They want you to click the, get to the blog post, to get to the Instagram, to get to the website, whatever it is, because they have so much confidence knowing, like, if we are the best resource for people and these women to come find things, they will come back. We're not worried about them not coming back. They will. And they make it very, very simple. Every post you put out is clickable. It's able to link to something else, to a home, to your home. And that is just not seen in other platforms. So it's a really unique thing about Pinterest that makes it great for conversion. And I'm going to ask Diana to just kind of give me her opinion on this, because she is someone, she has her own website and her own blog, her own blogs. But when she pins to Pinterest, tell us a little bit about the traffic that you get from Pinterest, Diana, if you can, just kind of a quick overview, or what you've seen happen with Pinterest when you're really paying attention to it.
So I've been a Pinterest user for a very long time, and for a very long time I was not using it the correct way for my business, which is now super frustrating, because now you know. But what I've found in the last year of really paying attention and kind of creating a better strategy around it is that it has like 1,000,000 times increased the amount of traffic that I'm getting. And when you have something like what I have, where the money that you make is based on people going to a website, that's exactly what you want. So kind of like you were saying, not every business really could, I'm sure that all businesses could benefit in some way from having Pinterest, whether it's for curation and organization purposes, or for, leading traffic to their hub. But for me, it's super important, because that's how I get my numbers up. So I think when I first started joining business casual meetings is when I was kind of starting to, sit down and actually focus a little more on Pinterest. And from that time, I've gone from I want to say it was, I think when I started paying attention to the numbers, it was 400,000 monthly viewers. That was glass.
Oh my gosh.
That's my child. It was 400,000 monthly viewers I am now up to 4.9 million monthly viewers.
Wow.
Just in the change of what I've done. And that's more of a vanity metric. Honestly, it doesn't mean that people are necessarily clicking into your page if you're whatever, but it means that many more eyes are on the things that you're sharing. So I did actually last month have a pin go viral, and it made a gigantic difference in my traffic. I went from about, I think I was at 21,000 page views a month on my blog to, in the past 30 days, I've had over 110,000 page views, which is huge and amazing. And I was finally able to apply for that ad network that I had been talking about forever and ever.
Right.
So it can make a huge difference. And so I'm trying now to kind of keep up with that strategy of, making sure that I sort of have a pinning plan. And like you said, Leanne, they've made a lot of changes to the platform and are really encouraging content creators to really make new, fresh content. That doesn't mean that you have to be updating your pictures necessarily. It doesn't mean that you have to have new content on your actual blog, if that's what you have. But what they want is fresh pins to sort of keep things fresh, because even for us, even if you've been on Pinterest for X amount of years, I know a lot of times you tend to see the same pins over and over again if you're searching within a certain niche. Mm-hmm. So that's really important for Pinterest as a platform. That's how they're trying to encourage fresh stuff to be shared, and they're really prioritizing those pins and the people that are doing that and taking it seriously. And I think that that's why mine has skyrocketed, because it just so happened that my whole plan to do fresh pins coincided with their whole plan to do fresh pins. So for once, I'm on the same page. The platform worked out well for me.
That's right.
But yeah, it definitely can be a huge traffic driver if that's what you're looking for. And I don't know much about it in terms of like having a product, but I feel like that can probably be a really big traffic driver to product pins as well. Since I don't have a product that I sell like that, I'm not really sure about it, but I think, you know, I could see how that could easily get virality as well. So
absolutely. That's amazing. So using her strategy, it just happened to coincide with what Pinterest had come up with. So maybe you should work for Pinterest. It worked out for her that in a month's time, she 5x'd her viewers on her blog, which is amazing, her visitors. And so think about that. What Diana said is like, for her, that number is very important, right? Because she uses that number to then, close deals with pitching with brands. For those of you that don't have an actual blog, but you have, your business website, or you have your Instagram page, wherever it is you land, wherever your hub is, your home is, it's just the possibility of that many more eyes on it, right? So that many more people being invited in and actually taking the step, one step further and getting closer to you. I mean, it's free besides your time, right? But it's free. And then also if you use a scheduler, you pay for that, but we'll talk about that too. But for the most part, it's a free organic marketing method that can 5x like Diana did, if not more, or maybe a little less, but the possibility is there, is what she's saying, that it can do that if you have a strategy and you want to stick to it. I don't know many other places where that can happen. Like I don't get a lot of traffic from my Instagram posts. So if I 5x'd it, I mean, it wouldn't be that much. But for Pinterest, I just think that there's so much possibility, and it falls to the bottom of so many people's lists, mine included. It's fallen to the bottom unless you are a blogger or someone who works in Pinterest, like Noelle does. It may fall to the bottom of your list, but really, ladies, I feel after doing all this research and learning about it that it should really be at the top of your list. It should really be somewhere you're focusing, because not everyone's doing it either. So like Diana said, yes, all the bloggers, a lot of people are really familiar with it or used to it, but those of you that are in other industries, not everybody's doing it. Not everybody's focusing there. And there are so many eyes that, like that target audience said, like those ladies' eyes that are there for the taking, really. So if you meet someone else in your industry and they're like, no, Pinterest doesn't work, it's more for you. Really think of it that way. Like, okay, good. More for me, right? More opportunity for myself. So we're going to talk about these changes like Diana was talking about in the fresh content, and we're going to get into that next. But I'm excited to hear about Diana's success, because I feel like that can be possible for all of you. And when you have a product-based business, ladies, it depends. Like Chrissy's in a little different situation because she works for Beauty Counter, but it's not to say that she can't share Beauty Counter marketing on there, but it's because I don't know their rules. But if you have your own products, like Shannon does, Shannon has her own site. Some members of our group have their own sites. The company that I'm consulting for has, its own products. It does, if you have Shopify or Etsy, they do talk to each other. And I know when I had my boutique, I was able to post directly shoppable pins on there, and I did get business from there. So it is beneficial for, I think, every industry. If you are a coach, which we have many coaches here, you're a coach or you're a designer, I mean, that's where these women are going to look for this information, right? Designers, hands down, I mean, Pinterest is the place to be, I would think, right? Event planning, like Michelle. I mean, there's so many opportunities here for all of you that it gets me really excited to think about. All right, so let's talk about these changes for 2020. Like Diana mentioned, the strategy now for Pinterest and their algorithm is fresh, right? They want to see fresh and they want to see new, because things do live on there forever and things can get stale. And so it's okay to, for something to link back to an old blog post or an old, Instagram post you did or something, whatever it is, wherever you're sending people. Or just your basic website, it's okay to link to the same place over and over again, but changing up the actual pin is what makes it fresh, right? Either changing out the graphics or the headline or the caption. And I think it's, from what I understood, it's the graphic that matters the most. But changing up the words will help as well. It just shows Pinterest that it's a new, fresh piece of content, of Pinterest content. and they are really favoring that. But it cannot, like I said, it can always link to past stuff. Keep your audience. Oh, here. Here's the other thing that I learned that is new is that there used to be this idea that like an 80-20 rule, that you don't want to be spammy and only talking about yourself on Pinterest, like only posting your own stuff. And then you should be posting 80 or pinning 80% other people's, posts and only 20% of your own. And that has changed. The woman I listened to from Pinterest and then another one from Tailwind said, it's now all about you, right? So it's completely okay if you flip that switch. If it's 80% your own pins and 20% others, most of us don't have enough bandwidth to create, enough Pinterest pins to have like 80%. But just know that there is no, you're not going to get, it's not going to hurt you to post your own things, your own pins, a lot of them, right? And the majority of what you're doing. In fact, they're encouraging it. It's all about you. They want fresh new content. And that's the only way you're going to do it. You repinning it tells them what's popular, but it doesn't really help them for fresh new content. So they want you to put out fresh new content. So, group boards, from what I understand, there is a thing called group boards in Pinterest. And the original idea when Pinterest created group boards was for actual people usage. It would be like for us to have a business casual mastermind board so that we could all be pinning ideas and things we want to talk about in our group. That might still actually be a great idea to do. But things that we want to share with each other. But what it turned into is that us marketers, us people that own businesses and want to, and create content, kind of took over that and instead made it a place to drop our own pins so that they would get shared. And so Pinterest picked up on that quickly and said, no, that's not really what we planned this for. We want this to be really user-friendly. And so group boards are not as important anymore as they used to be. It's not to say that you can't do it. It's just, that is what's going to come across looking spammy, as if you're on a group board, just always kind of, leave it and forget it, like putting a pin there and not being involved in the group by actually pinning things that are relevant to the group. And never, ever, ever, when you're on a group board, pin anything irrelevant to it. So don't pin things to a group board that have nothing to do. If Mama Crush, I'm talking about, personal styling for moms, don't go on a travel board and leave my pin and expect that people to share it. And it'll just look spammy and look bad. So, and Pinterest will frown upon that. So group boards are something that is just not really as important anymore. I'm sure that it would be completely fine if we created a business casual mastermind, group board, and we used it for the reason that it was created. But the things that consist of a good pin, what Pinterest likes to see, just some basics here, guys. It's the vertical image, and Canva is your best friend. Canva has Pinterest templates that you can use, and you can drop in your photos and your words, any kind of text overlay, anything you want to do to make it look great. You want to stand out from the crowd. But a good pin as a vertical image, the graphics look really good on it if there are any, and you are using positivity. So in your keywords, in your titles, and in your headlines. So this is something that I thought was really interesting to hear from this woman. And this was actually the woman from Tailwind who said this. She said, people go to Pinterest for happy, right? They go there looking for happy. Jen is a good example because she has 10, I can't remember exactly the title of it, Jen, but it's like 10 pitfalls to avoid, for financial success, for pitfalls to avoid for financial success. So because of, you could shift the words on there, and it's like, I'm not saying to change this, Jen. I'm just using this as an example because it's a good title to use, but they really prefer positive messaging. So it would be like 4 ways to make sure you avoid the pitfalls or something. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but or 4 ways to make sure you have financial success. Something that I'm being very general, but just so you guys kind of hear what I'm saying, it's like, let's avoid negativity on Pinterest. It's not to say that those things won't get looked at. It's just, this is what Pinterest prefers when they are looking through their algorithm. They are looking for positivity. They want to keep it a happy place. So another good thing to do with Pinterest is just to get on there. If you haven't been on in a while, if you're not moving or looking for homeschooling stuff or whatever, is to get onto Pinterest and just organically search, organically look, organically search out some of our friends, and just do it yourself as a user and remind yourself, what it is. Look at what's showing up in your feed. The people you follow, the companies you follow are going to show up in your feed, but then also Pinterest is going to push out things to you. What's showing up in your feed? And are these things then that are good for not only you, but your target audience, right? And so we're going to kind of get a little more deeper into this next week, I think, but because we're running out of time. But how you can curate not only what you are pushing out, but also what you're receiving, so that it all is focused on your target customer, your ideal client avatar, the woman you want looking at and becoming your customer or your client. You want to be seeing the same things that she's seeing, and you want to be pushing out the things that she's looking for. So we'll get more detailed into that next week, and how you can do that. But let me make sure I am covering all of this good new info. Let's see. So one of the biggest things about Pinterest is that in order to be active and to see the kind of results that Diana has seen is to have a strategy, like we said. And it really does require some work. It does require pinning often and repinning often and being active on the site if you want true results, if you want to see that kind of success like Diana saw, and will continue to see. So I'm sure Diana could speak to this. Maybe one of our other girls wants to hop in, but this is not like a once a week I get on Pinterest and pin a couple of things and hop off and think, all right, phew, I'm done with that. This is really like a daily thing. I know that I went through and read a bunch of success stories from bloggers and business owners who have gotten a lot of traffic from Pinterest, and every one of them had a daily plan for Pinterest. When I say daily, like an overall strategy, but knew how many pins they were going to go on, how much time they were going to spend on this, every day. And I'll let Diana speak to that in one moment, but there is, there is a solution, and it is Tailwind, and Tailwind is the Pinterest scheduler of choice. They work together with Pinterest. They are the approved Pinterest scheduler, and spending time in Tailwind also offers you so many other benefits that I will mention here for you. But use Tailwind mostly to schedule pins, right? Your own and others, so that it doesn't look like you're on and doing everything in a 30-minute period in one time a week or one time a day. Instead, it kind of spaces everything out for you. It makes it really easy to schedule. It gives you best times. It can set it up for you. There's other things called a Smart Loop, which will schedule out things seasonally for you, to reshare. Like if you have a pin and you want it to be reshared every fall, it can schedule that out for you even. Tailwind tribes it's kind of like a membership group, right? It's like almost like a networking group. Like if you become a member of a Tailwind tribe, the goal is so that you guys can share each other's content, each other's pins. But it is also a place to kind of get to know some other people in your industry or in your clients or potential customers' wheelhouse. So that's another place. And then Tailwind also offers even more analytics than what you would get with a Pinterest account. You're going to get a lot of analytics and great things, but Tailwind also offers that. You don't have to use Tailwind to be successful at Pinterest. It is just that your time is money. And if you are wanting to save some time, then you should probably use some sort of scheduler. I'm only promoting Tailwind because I have used it I'm telling you about it because I have used it in the past, and I feel like it is well worth every penny I spent. They also have an Instagram scheduler as well, which makes it kind of easy because you can push between the two things. But I will tell you guys that I went ahead and looked up the pricing for you just so you would know what it costs, so you have an idea if you're interested in using Tailwind. And right now, if you were to just get one Tailwind account, so you get one account per business per social media account. So if I have the Mama Crush Pinterest, that's one account. If I have the Mama Crush Instagram, that's 2 accounts. And if I have a business casual Pinterest, that would be 3 accounts. but let's just talk about one account right now. So one account annually right now, as of last night, it is $9.99 a month, but you pay it all at once. So what's that, like close to $120 for the year. If you want to pay monthly, you can, and it's $14.99 a month. And then I listened to a Jenna Kutcher Gold Digger podcast, and she actually has an offer. So if you want, she has $30 off of your membership. So you can use that. All you have to do is go to tailwindapp.com. I'll put this in the notes //Jenna, and you can get a $30 credit. So you can either get $30 off that membership fee, which makes it down annually, it comes out to like $7.50 a month, or you can apply it to a monthly. So basically your first 2 months would be free. So sorry, that was a lot of information, but I just wanted you guys to know that I am going to talk as though you're kind of using Tailwind or a scheduling app, but just know that you can do this all on your own. It's just that it's more time consuming. So you just have to decide what's more, save time, spend money, or spend money, save time. Did I say that right? No, I said it opposite. I didn't say that right. You guys know what I mean. So Diana, will you speak to us real quickly about your planning and how you're scheduling out and how much time you would say that you spend a day or a week in Pinterest?
Yeah, so like you were saying, Tailwind has been a lifesaver because I don't think that for the amount of pinning that I have to do, and again, I have 9 years worth of content. So this is not, if you don't have that much content, then I don't think that it would be the same for everyone, but I'm having to create fresh pins for all of these, 800 some recipes and have that continually going out and, trying to sort of schedule it seasonally as well. So that's not really a feasible thing that you can, like you were saying, you can sit down and do that. I guess if you had that amount of time and if you knew that the return was there, then I guess it's something you could do. I do believe that you can now schedule things out on Pinterest itself.
Okay.
On the platform. You'd have to look into that. I know that you can actually create pins on there as well. And I think like most platforms, I do believe that, and this is kind of like, it depends on who you listen to, but I do think that manual pinning onto the platform gets you better results than something scheduled out. So it's just kind of a trade-off, because even though I know that I could sit there and manually pin things onto the boards, I would have to make the time to do that. So I'm okay with like maybe losing a little traction, but having Tailwind do all the work for me.
Right. It's a give and take no matter what you choose to do, right? So.
Right, exactly. But like you said, if you have a Pinterest account and you have it set to a business account, you can look up your analytics, which are super important because it shows you which boards are the ones that are really getting you the most traffic. It can kind of give you a breakdown of like the specific pins to give you an idea. You could even A/B test and make like 2 different types of pins, one with like more of a graphic element, one without, and then see like what performs better for your audience. And so things like that are just things you have to kind of sit down and figure out for your own brand and for your audience, because the audience varies per person. I don't even have a huge following on Pinterest. I think I have like 11,500 people or something like that. I have friends that have way more followers, but not as much traction. So it really just depends on the amount of effort that you're putting into it. So I think that Tailwind is just like an invaluable tool for that. And it's so important, like you were saying, like the tribes can make a huge difference if you get really actively involved in those. You have to have like really high quality content that stands out so that other pinners want to pin, not even just on Pinterest as a platform, but in tribes, because there are other people that are business owners and they want the stuff that they're putting out there to be high quality and beautiful and make sure that it's leading to a place that's not just like a spammy site. So, kind of getting in with the right people as far as that goes too. And I go back and forth, like there'll be some months where I'm really good about doing the stuff in tribes, and then others where I'm just like, I'm just going to focus on my own thing and just make sure that I have stuff going out. But the good news is at first I was like scheduling out like 30 some pins a day and just like driving myself crazy because that's like a huge queue to fill. And it was taking me forever to schedule out like even a month's worth of content. And then I decided to give something a try, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with the most basic, because it sort of gives you time slots of when your ideal pinning times are. And so I just went with the most basic, like whatever it starts you with. And I only did like 6 to 8 pins a day. It made zero difference in the amount of traction I was getting. If anything, I probably got more views because I think I was, and I think it was because I was really, focusing on like quality content, not just like filling my queue with like all this stuff just to have it go out. And you know, as far as users go too, like they may be used to seeing your stuff. I don't even really, I mean, I use Pinterest as a user, but like I don't really follow specific people, and like, you know, I just kind of like see whatever. I use it as a search engine like a lot of other people do. But you know, they're not seeing this stuff. Like nobody wants to see like the same pin going out over and over again from your thing. So that's another way that Tailwind can be super useful, because like you said, you can schedule those things out to have a gap between them, and then like instead of having pins back to back that are the same thing over and over, you can schedule it out so that it goes out once every day or once every week or however you want to do it. But there's so many great things about it. I mean, I can't say enough, and I probably don't even use it to the full extent of
right.
what
I was gonna say, I mean, as involved with it as you are, there are probably so many tools and resources that you don't even know about. You're not even using it, you know? So I just feel like the opportunities are really endless, and Pinterest is very female centric, you guys, and that's what we're all about, right? You don't always find that like on Instagram or Facebook. It's really more of a broad, you know, you can feel like the masculinity in a lot of it, whereas with Pinterest, it feels female. It's not to say that there aren't men on there, but you know, it feels very female driven, and you can tell that the thought process that's gone behind like their algorithm or the boards and things like that are all very female centric. And so it makes me feel really confident, because that's what we all do, right? I can see, thank you so much, Diana, for your insight, and that was really, really helpful. I can see people hopping off. I know it's getting really late. I have to go as well. So I'm going to wrap this up, because I took copious amounts of notes, you guys, and there's so many more cool things to do. What I'd like to leave you with today is to get onto Pinterest and use it organically as a user. And if you haven't in a while, and get on there and just see like what pops up in your feed when you just when you open it right up, right? And then also go to your own boards and kind of look through and see what you've got up there, and start thinking about your target audience and what they're looking for. Type in some searches, you know, when you're looking for what you do, you know, Michelle, when you're thinking about events and what are some things like a potential bride or, you know, or potential party planning, or somebody who's planning a party would look up. So start thinking in that methodology, like just go on there and use it organically this week. And then next week, we'll get more into the nitty gritty of what to actually do in there and how you can, you know, up level your Pinterest game. So thank you guys so much, as usual. Love and miss you all. And also be on the lookout for our new website coming out in the next couple of weeks. So see you guys soon. Thank you. Thanks, Diana, for all your help today.